Hello, this is Malorian, and this is the Orc Tactical Team, and what we're going to be talking about today is Cavalry in 8th. So in 7th, Cavalry was really powerful. You know, you had that extra movement, you could hit really hard, you could break blocks. So in some terms, you could have Cavalry just totally running the game and just dominating everything. But when we get to 8th, this really changes. Some of the reasons why Cavalry has gotten worse is number one is because of steadfast. You know, now they slam into a block and pretty much that block is going to stay there because they're stubborn, can use general's leadership, you can have the reroll from the BSB. So that's not too good. And with a lot of Cavalry, they have lances or something that's really strong just on the charge. So a lot like with Bretonnians, if they don't break something on the charge, they can be in big trouble. And so with things being steadfast, that can be even more of a real danger, because it could be easily now that anything that has a couple of ranks, you just can't break and you're going to be tied down there. Another big problem with Cavalry is now with the random charge distance. I mean, sure, they have that the Swift rule, whatever, is where 3d6 take the two highest. So they have a little bit of a speed advantage, but the truth of the matter is that whereas before you could carefully go and match things up and make sure that you can charge them, they can't charge you. Well, now you could have dwarves that get the jump on your knights. You know, you set up your knights, you set up your charge, you roll, you know, poorly, a couple of low rolls, you go up, and all of a sudden these dwarves can rush up super far to charge them. So that really hurts them as well. And finally, the last thing that hurts them is that war machines got better. You know, with no guessing anymore, no templates, you can see Cavalry really taking a beating from these things. So looking from that, a lot of people are saying, well, what's the use of these anymore? You know, you might as well just take them out of your list. However, I don't think that's true. I still believe they have a part in your list. And one of the first things that I think that really stands out for them is they still have a really good save. So whereas some other models where they used to have a shield bonus and they could have a pretty good save, now, you know, it's been downgraded. So especially from things like shooting, well, I guess the shield bonus was the same as before, but it's just you have these knights that have a 2+ save even in combat, whereas other ones now, you know, even fairly good infantry probably is going to max out at 4+. So you have that little bit there, which turns into survivability. And one of the things that almost every army has access now is that one magical item that makes you stubborn. So what you can do is have this on a unit of knights, have that character there, which is stubborn, slam into something, do a good amount of damage, and then tie them down. So they're going to be doing attacks against you, but you're stubborn, and not only that, you have a really good save. So they probably won't be doing any damage to you at all. I mean, you might lose your shield bonus, or sorry, your lance bonus, but you're still going to be doing little damage against them to pick away. And meanwhile, while you're holding down this big block, another block of yours can be swooping around to hit the flank. So you can start using them kind of a more of a tie-up type thing. And of course, with shooting getting a lot more powerful, you could be sending these cavalry units off to start getting the shooting units. You know, forget about the blocks. Maybe now this group of 5 knights, they're after those archers, or they're after that war machine. So it's kind of a demotion to be going from I'm going to go and take out that block to I'm after those archers. But it's just the way that it changes in the game, and they still are useful in that regard. Another thing that you can really think of, I said that, well, in the charge, they're still just as deadly. So when you're getting block-on-block combat, it can quickly become a race to who has the most wounds, who's going to break the other guy steadfast first. And a lot of that comes down just to killing the guys so they don't have as many ranks. So what you can do is, you know, everybody's still probably going to have these support units. If you had knights as support units, what you could do is you have this block-on-block combat, you swing your knights around the flank and then hit that block in the flank. And what that probably means that turn is that with all that damage you're going to do, you should win combat, and because they lost all those models, your block should have more ranks than theirs, which should break their steadfast, which means you can break them, and then you can even run them down with your faster knights. So you can use them in some of that support regard. And another thing to really keep in mind here is because, you know, especially if you're fighting big blocks with great weapons, you know, you could still have that great save of that 2+, 1+ save. But if you're being hit with these great weapons, it's going to be reduced to the point where you're going to be losing knights pretty quickly. I mean, you can be hit in the front, let's say a block that has 40 Marauders with great weapons. You know, you have 20 or 10 Warriors of Chaos Knights that hit them. Well, in 7th, you would think the Marauders are toast, but now the Marauders in 8th are probably going to pick them down. Now, if you were to hit them in the flank, you can do a lot of damage, but then they can just pass leadership to turn to face you. So in the end, you'll just be getting hit anyway. However, what I'm trying to get to is that test to reform to change facing can't be done if you are locked in more than one front on your block. So if you were to go and say have one unit that's set up for ranks, engage that heavily hitting Marauder unit, then those knights hit the flank. So the knights are there adding all the damage, your block is there keeping the steadfast, and really you should be probably winning with them charging it anyway. But the main thing I want to say here is that on the side, they're only getting those, 4 or so models to attack with. They aren't getting the support attacks. They're not getting, well, they get step up, but if they lose a rank, there's no step up going to the side, so that person just doesn't get to attack. So you can kind of work things like that too. And the last thing I think is really important with this Cavalry is they can be really great character killers. So it's really important in 8th to be trying to kill generals, to try and be killing BSBs, to try and kill mages, because, of course, the blocks, even if they're stubborn, who cares if they don't have the general leadership or they don't have the reroll, and magic can be so deadly that you have to kill these guys so fast. So we can start turning these blocks into of knights is ones that are specifically designed to go and kill characters. They might lose or whatever, but the main thing is that after that happens, they're probably going to get away, and they can always reform and counter a later date. And so if you're going to be doing knights in that way, what I do is take them as a unit of 6. First of all, you have the utility that you could always be using them as a flanker to try and disrupt, since oh, never mind. I'm thinking if I was Bretonnians. So if you're Bretonnians, then you can still do that because 3 wide is a rank. For other knights, what that would mean is that both rows get to attack, so you can hit into a block, direct all those attacks against that character if you can. If you're there only at 20 millimeter, then only 4 of them can direct your attacks. But with all those attacks, you should probably be able to kill a mage, especially if it's just a hero class. The reason why you have to do a lot of these things now with the units is that people will know that they have to defend these characters. So there's going to be a unit champ or a fighting character, so that if you're to fly up there with a character killing character, they're just going to declare a challenge and you're going to have to fight that guy instead. Whereas if you're charging them with a block, there's nobody to challenge. So the attacks just go through, you kill the mage, they win, you run away, and you're ahead of the game. So that's another big thing with Cavalry. Finally, a big thing going to 8th is a lot of the stuff of redirect and things have become a lot more difficult because of the rule changes. And it's even harder for classic directors and throwaway units because of all the extra shooting. With all the extra ranks of shooting from archers, you have your volley shots, things like that. Little units of fast cav can die very quickly. And the thing is, though, is that sometimes these knights aren't all that many more points than the fast cav. Like if you take Bretonnians, the mounted yeomen are your classical, run up and break up the lines. But however, knights errant aren't all that many more points. However, their save is a lot better. So what you might want to do is start using units of knights just to run up and start trying to redirect, speed bump, bog things down, and then that if they send a thing of arrows at them, they're probably going to be okay. Finally, there are some cases that you can do knight hordes. So some of the ones like Bretonnians, you're screwed because you can only have a max size, but other ones, such like Empire, there is no max size. And they're cheap enough that you can get away with it. So it's a lot of points, but then again, you're very hard to take down. You hit very hard, especially if you take the great weapons and you can continue to hit hard. And yeah, with that great save, they're not going to be doing anything back. So it's kind of like this big point denial that you can just put on there, hit really fast, hit really hard, and your opponents won't have much to do to stop it. So especially with Empire, where you're at core anyway, I mean, that could be a fun thing just to kind of pull on your opponents now and then that, haha, I got 40 knights coming at you once. So anyway, that's all I'm going to be talking about today, and I'll see you next week. Bye.